I don't know. We'll see. Okay, it looks like I'm live. It looks like I'm live. All right, cool. So we're live. It does say Elden Ring. Nice. Okay. That's good. Now let me go live on TikTok real quick. Oh, my mat is like slightly off. And so my mouse is like right at the edge of it. So when I try to go to the right, it instantly just falls off the mat. It's really irritating. And I never think about it until I'm live and I'm starting to use my mouse because I don't really sit here, right? Give me just a second here. Okay. Save and go live. Copy that. I don't know if it changes every stream, but the last time I tried, it changed every stream. So I'm just gonna make sure that it's not wrong. I don't want to end up live streaming to somebody else's channel or something. Get them a whole bunch of views because I'm so awesome. Give me just a second here. I'll pay attention to the chat in just a second. I'll pay attention to the chat in just a second, I promise. Okay. Okay. And then I should be okay to go live. And then TikTok should be live like in just a second. Hello, how are you doing? I can't see chat just yet. I can't see chat just yet. Give me a second here. Give me just a second here. Where's Restream? Where's Restream? Where's my chat? Gina, how you doing? Welcome. How are you? I apologize for the messy start to the stream. Christian, hello, welcome. I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody's doing really well. Let me see if I can... Okay, so I logged in. Am I able to see it now? Chat? Is it logged in? It's still not logged in. That is so annoying. That is so annoying. Give me a second here. I'm gonna... Can I... No, Streamlabs won't do both, will it? It's only gonna do Twitch, right? I think it's only gonna do Twitch. I don't know. Let's... Custom browser docs. Let's delete that. Let's delete that. Apply it. And then go here. And... embed in stream. I don't want to embed it though. I wish there was a way to like pop it out. Okay, copy. I'll just copy it with white. Oh. Chat. URL. Paste. Apply. It's in bright colors. It's terrible. It's in day mode. It's in day mode. Who wants to use chat in day mode? That's so dumb. Okay. Docs. Does it have... Do I have my TikTok stream here? The other chat? Nope, that's the wrong chat. Okay. I'm good, Gina. I'm good. Just here hanging out. A little bit of a cluster truck going on. Hello, we win. Hello. No worries. No worries. Finish. I'm still setting up here anyway. I'm still trying to figure this out. Tickfinity. Connect to TikTok Live. And then I want my chat box. So that's under overlays, right? Chat. Yes. Copy URL. Go back to this. Docs. Custom browser docs. TikTok chat. And paste it. Apply. Dakota, hello, nice to see you. Whoa, Christian. Going hardcore with the double chat. Hope you're doing well, Christian. Hope life is treating you okay, you know? Sometimes life can be stressful. So I'm hoping it's treating you okay. All right. Am I finally like set up properly? Like, seriously? Am I actually like on properly now? See, that's not gonna work. I can't do it that way. Hold on, I can't see the chat, the dark. I can't see the chat. I apologize. Hold on, I'm trying to set up the chat so I can actually read it. I can't read it right now. I can't read the chat. Chat, why are you messing me up? Okay, I'll put you here. Will this work? Okay. What if I just like layer? I don't want to layer you though. That's the problem. Okay, that's a bit better. But you're living your best life. That's all you can do, right? That's really the only choice we have. I can feel you on that one for sure. I can totally feel you on that one for sure. There we go. That's better. Okay, that should work somewhat. Anyway, I don't know. This is as best as it's gonna get. I'm doing well, The Dark. I got up on time. Everything was good. And then I sat down because I was eating breakfast before starting. So I was like sitting here eating my breakfast and I'm like, I'm going to get started as soon as I'm done breakfast. And as I pull over the microphone, some of you may notice, some of you may not. I changed the camera angles. I wasn't very happy with the last ones because all you could see was my green screen and like my old green screen and my projector screen. And it looked really boring and there was just nothing I could do to make it look nice. So I switched the cameras around. But now the problem is that chat is way over here and my camera's way over here. So it's hard to kind of like follow the chat and then look over. But anyways, I had to move the microphone because the microphone pole was like right in the way. So I moved it to this side and I pulled the microphone over to get started on streaming. And then I realized I hadn't actually done the wiring. I was just testing to see if the hardware was okay. But at the time that I was testing if the hardware was okay, it was dinner time. So I kind of just walked away and forgot about it. And then I had to go like under my desk and grab the cables and unzip them and put them in the right spot. And now there's a huge mess under my desk. So I'm a little bit, shush. I'm a little bit, what's the word? Discombobulated. I'm a little bit discombobulated right now. I have to get used to the camera being over here. But I do like the fact that I can see a lot more in the background. I have to cover that window. That's really irritating me. Lighting, not anything bad. But yeah, I like the fact that like you can see my shelves and it's really dim, the purple light behind me. Maybe it's just because of the thing. Okay, anyway, I'll fix it another day. But yeah, I like that you can see stuff behind me and I still have the gameplay camera, which is much more centered, not perfectly. I might center it a bit more, but yeah, so a little bit discombobulated. Also time to switch to Twitch. Okay, go for it, Buns. Go for it. Okay. It seems like the chat is working, is it? Okay, it is working. Okay, cool. Just making sure. Just making sure. I don't like that Restream is not keeping my chat on screen for me to see. It's only for like a second and then disappears. I'll have to keep this open instead. I'm good, Nikki. I'm really good. How are you doing? I hope life is treating you okay. You can upscale your stream with your RTX GPU from 480p to 1080p. Oh, man. Oh, Christian, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the Resident Evil 4 game in general. I'm Zach, hello, nice to see you. Yes, I will be gaming in just a second. I just started. I've only been live for like 5 minutes. Yeah, I want to play it. I haven't oh, whoops, music. I haven't looked at anything except for like the initial gameplay trailer, because even though I know the story, even though I've beaten the game multiple times and I just recently beat it about 2 months ago, I don't want to have anything on mind when I go and play it. I want to go in completely blind. I played it 2 months ago because, one, it was on VR, and two, I wanted to make sure I beat it before the game got launched, so that way I could have it relatively fresh in my mind, to kind of be able to compare, but not so fresh that it's just repetition. I wanted it to be a little bit forgotten, so I beat it about 2 months ago. That should give me enough time to really absorb the new changes and stuff. Morrison Hurst, in just a minute. I take a couple minutes to talk to people. Word of advice though, it's not good etiquette, and it doesn't look good when you walk in and you start demanding people to start playing games. If you want to just watch straight gameplay, you could just go to YouTube. Live streaming, the interesting part of it is talking to the streamer. If that's not for you, that's cool, but YouTube's available for that, right? If I want to sit and chat, I can sit and chat. If I want to play for 5 minutes and then just not play the rest of the stream, I can do that too. Doing good too. I got a call today from customer today. Oh yeah, is like not a bad call, right, Nikki? They just wanted to see if you had something. After 5, 6, and 7, 5. I hated 5. I wasn't a big fan of 5. 6, I was hit and miss with. There was some stuff that I hated, some stuff that I liked. I liked the Leon part of it because it was closer to survival horror. The rest of it was like just a really bad action movie. It was okay if you play it co-op and it's like a dumb fun times just shooting zombies, then it's not too bad. But if you go into it expecting like survival horror, yeah, you're gonna hate it. But then it got really good again once they got to 7, and then 8 was pretty good. Everybody, I seem to be the odd man out, but everybody seems to like 8 a lot better than 7. I liked 7 a lot better than 8, but I like the horror aspect. Some people said 8 was scarier. I didn't think 8 was scary at all. But that being said, I think I am a little bit skewed because I played 7 in VR and I haven't played 8 in VR, and 7 wasn't scary when I tried it on flat screen. It was definitely scary in VR, so I'm wondering if maybe that's what makes me like 7 more, is just that the VR made it scarier. I'm hoping to get the PSVR soon. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm going to be very irresponsible. I'm supposed to be getting a small inheritance, and if I get that, I'm going to pay some bills and then buy the PSVR too. And then I'm going to play that in VR. I'll replay it, and then maybe I'll change my mind. Shut up, ads. Harris Heller, why did you add ads, enable ads to all of your videos? Because now I can't just play it in the background. You were supposed to do this for free and blah, 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 but you have ads that ruin it. Thanks a lot. But yeah, yes, they wanted some hats for kids. Oh, okay, Nikki. Hey, business is good though. That's good. Just stop playing and chat all day. That's what I'll do. It almost makes me want to. It almost makes me want to. Now, the person who said it wasn't very rude, they were actually quite polite about it. Usually they'll come in and be like, shut up and start playing or whatever. That's why I was pretty nice about the way that I responded. Obviously, I'm not good with social interaction, so I don't know if I was being really rude, but I feel like I wasn't. But the whole thing is, like, it's a live stream. The whole point is to chat with people. And I only started like 10 minutes ago now. I want to catch up with you guys before I get started. Merle, I hope you're doing well. I hope life is treating you good. How was your day? It's evening now, right? So how was your day? You resting up? Get your feet up. Take some time to unwind. Listen to my sexy voice as you unwind. We win. Oh, we win. I was gonna message you this yesterday, but I couldn't like calculate the time in my brain, so I didn't want to like message you at 4 in the morning for you, because it was like midnight for me. I think it would have been like closer to 6 for you. Anyway, I opened up our chat to see the tracking number, and it's in my country now. I don't know where, but it's in my country now, so it should be here any day now. I hope. It's been in my country for about 3 days, so hopefully it'll be here in the next, today's what, Tuesday, so maybe it'll be here by the end of the week, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Sometimes if it's in like British Columbia, which I think is where it usually lands, it could be there for up to a week, but hopefully it'll be here soon. Anyways, you don't get notifications. Okay, good. I just wasn't sure. I know some people turn on notifications. But I noticed I shared one of my videos with you. I didn't mean to. That was by accident. I must have grabbed my phone and just pressed it. I don't know. I hate that when you press the share button, it gives you like the link to who you can share to. Like, you could just push their face and it just sends it to them. I really wish that I could... Oh, there's no music now. I really wish that I could, like, disable that, or at least pick who I can send things to, because, like, I'm so scared. You have no idea. Like, what if a thirst trap is on there and I happen to click and send it to somebody by accident, right? And they're going to be like, this pervert thinks that I want to look at this girl's boobies. And that's not what I intend to do at all, but I'm very clumsy and I drop my phone all the time and stuff happens, and I didn't mean to send you my video, so I apologize. I was like, when I looked at it, I was like, what did she share with me? I didn't get the note. Oh, I shared that with her. I'm like, oh, and this video means nothing to nobody. Like, it was a reply to somebody. I was like, it makes no sense to her. She probably just thinks like he's stroking his own ego. He's just sharing stuff. You like thirst traps? Ina Yugi, how you doing? Welcome. How are you? I hope you're doing well. There are some good thirst traps out there, but there are some that just like, maybe it's like the neurodivergent part of me, or maybe it's the musician part of me. But why do like 75% of the people doing thirst traps, no gender in particular, just thirst traps, why do they have zero rhythm? They have zero rhythm and they're trying to be sexy, and it instantly kills the sexiness. Like, listen to this rhythm, right? Listen to this rhythm. And then they're clapping to it, and they're just like... It's like, that's not... You're not in rhythm. You're not in rhythm. You can't be sexy out of rhythm. You gotta be in rhythm. And sometimes they're like, not even clapping. Like, they're not doing anything interesting. Just like, stay on the beat. Stay on the friggin' beat. Preston, how are you, man? How are things going? Pedro Pascal has the best thirst traps. That man, that man always plays such like heavy characters, right? Like in Narcos, I think it was Narcos. I don't know, the one about the Colombian cocaine thing. He was so good as the cop in that. And then in The Mandalorian, obviously very serious as well. Had its like deadpan funny, but it was still serious. And then The Last of Us, I've only watched the first 4 episodes, but like he's so good in it. Like he's so good. And then you see him in real life and he's just like this big dorky goofball. And like to me, that's so much more impressive. It's not like, okay, so it's so hard for me to say this because I'm afraid it's going to be taken the wrong way. You know, people take clips and then they just like interpret them the wrong way. I did not like, I think it was the 3rd episode, the one with the guys. I didn't like that episode only because I don't like him. I don't think he's that great of an actor. I don't know the guy's name. He's the guy that was in The Office. He's a really serious guy with the beard and the eyebrows. I don't think he's that great because you see him in at least in the way he portrays his interviews, he's exactly the same as what he is on screen. So to me, it just doesn't feel like it's acting. It just feels like it's like Michael Cera. It's just them being them on camera. And it's not like that doesn't have its place because Michael Cera is very good at the Michael Cera character, but it's not interesting to me. Because all I see is Michael Cera. I don't see the character. And it was kind of the same for him. There was like, I get where they were kind of going with it, where it was like supposed to be that like discomfort of like admitting to himself his own sexuality and like who he is. But it didn't feel like it was the character struggling with that. It felt like it was the actor struggling with that. And it just like pulled me out of it. And it was so beautiful. And the guy he was acting with was phenomenal. I didn't like him. But anyway, what I'm getting at is Pedro Pascal, when you see his like interviews and stuff, he's like a totally different person than who he is on screen. And to me, that's I love seeing that in an actor because it really, really makes their talent shine. Whereas that guy, it's like, no, he's the same guy. It makes him look even less talented, whether they are or aren't talented, right? Right? Exactly, Christian. That's another one. Bryan Cranston, I think that's another reason that he shines so much is that he seems like the nicest guy in the world, who can be snarky and douchey and hilarious, but isn't actually a mean guy. But then you see him in like Malcolm in the Middle and he's a complete moron. And then you see him in Breaking Bad and he's just like this corrupted, damaged man. And it's so well portrayed that you can see that range of like who he is and who his characters are. Like I said, I haven't seen the other ones. I've only seen the first 4, and yeah, that episode I cried at the end. It was beautiful. I just didn't like the actor. It just didn't work for me, and I'm mad at the episode more than anything at like why did they do that? I don't want to spoil it. Just to have the conclusion it had. Do you know what I mean? And it was just like, why put us through that? You could have done that in like 20 minutes and then had the rest of the episode be about Ellie. But that being said, the whole episode was written really well. It was very believable. There's some stuff going on in my life that hit very close to home when I was watching that. And so like, it's very hard to portray that in an authentic way. And his scene partner did such a good job. It was a great episode. I don't like the actor choice. That was the only thing. I just didn't like the actress. When I saw all the stuff with him, I was really looking forward to seeing him on screen. And then he was just the guy from The Office. And I was just like, oh, okay. Cool, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah, Preston, we're gonna get started. Yeah, like I'm not... do you snus? I don't know what snus is. I'm old. I don't know what snus means. Hey, Yatu Chavez, how you going, man? How you doing, man? Any fashion tips? You can always wear jorts. Always, at all times. Night Owl, hello, welcome. Yatu Chavez, you're asking the wrong person. I've owned this. So, I bought the shirt when I first started college. This last time when I was in nursing. This was like a couple years before the pandemic hit. I would catch the train in Burlington, Ontario, which is like right outside of Hamilton, which is still like a 45-minute drive away from Toronto. And I was going to school downtown Toronto. And actually, I was like right by on Lake Ontario. Like you could look out the window and just look at the lake. It was beautiful. Anyways, I would catch the train and I would end up in the core train station. And right outside, across the street, there was a Winners, which is like... I guess it's like Burlington Coat Factory in the States, if that is still a thing. I don't know. I haven't been to one of those in like 15 years. But anyways, it's kind of like that where they sell stuff like at a reduced price because it's either, you know, no longer for sale or because it's slightly damaged or whatever. And so it's a place called Winners. Do they have Winners in the States? They have Winners, right? I think they have Winners, right? Anyways, and so I walked in and I have that shirt that says Game Over. That was in there. I went in because I needed an umbrella. It was raining really heavily and I needed to walk about 20 minutes to school. And I didn't have an umbrella that day. And so I went in there to get an umbrella and then I saw my shirt that says Game Over on it and then this shirt. And I bought it and then it fit me for like a total of like a month. And then I started gaining weight and then it just never came close to fitting. Now it fits slightly snug. I wish I was a little bit more fit than I am. I think the size is okay. It's just I'm a little bit too floofy, so it's not super flattering. But like this one and one other shirt are like the only decently fashionable shirts I have. The rest of them are all gaming shirts, or they're like shirts that are 5 sizes too small, or they've like been stretched out and looks all gross. Oh, I don't know, Dakota. If that's what it is, then hell no. I worked in healthcare for a really long time. I smoked for about 5 years. I will never smoke again. I will never chew tobacco. I will never drink excessively. I've seen the things it does to people. I will never do that. If you're asking because of my face, I'm having a really bad breakout right now and I don't know why. Because like I've gone above and beyond when it comes to my facial care routine. Like I moisturize every day. I use an anti-rosacea thing, which is actually helping with my nose. I know it's not easy to tell, but I can tell. I use an acne treatment at nighttime. I cleanse my face twice a day. I wash my pillowcases at least once a week. And I'm breaking out and I don't know why, and it's driving me insane because it's just this area right here. It's nuts. You found your retro shirt a while ago? I wish I had another one. I need to buy some.
Searching online for questions about your health isn't always
I don't know what Reglan is. Night Owl, I don't know what Reglan is.
And whoosh, you're hurtling through an internet rabbit hole.
What are you doing, step bro? Is it Keith? I can't see it. Hold on, where's Twitchfinity?
You could just talk to a pharmacist. Stop going down.
Kevin, thank you for the game pads. I don't know if you all can hear it because the stupid ad was on, but Kevin has been sending gamepad gifts and a rose. And my little sound effect is, what are you doing, step bro? Kevin, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. I hope life is treating you okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we what do we call those here? I think we just call them a baseball tee here, is basically what we call them. Or at least that's what I used to call them as a kid. I have this one, and I think I threw it out now because I'm kicking myself in the butt now because I threw out a bunch of clothing about 7 or 8 months ago when I was basically at my heaviest, because for years I have been saving up my clothing with the stupid idea. Leonardo, hello, welcome, how are you? With the stupid idea that I was going to eventually get skinny again. Because I was always very, very skinny. I'll show you guys how skinny I was. But I was always very, very skinny. And so I was like, you know what? I'll save my clothing because one day I'll be skinny and the clothing is still in very good condition and I can still wear it. And so I can save it and I'll have a whole, wardrobe of clothing. And at the time, actually, learning something new every day. And so I saved a bunch of it. Okay, ad's done. And had to drop in and send you some gamepads since I saw your live. Thank you, man. Kevin, I really appreciate it. Have yourself a good day. Thank you for taking the time. That really means a lot. Thank you so much. Take care, step bro. Leonardo, I'm good. And so I had saved it all up, right? Thinking I was going to get thin. Mind you, I was very thin. Like I was between a size small and medium, depending on the make of the shirt. I used to weigh like 135 pounds. I'm 5 foot. We can't agree whether it's 5'8" because that's what the doctor said when I last got tested, but I wasn't really standing fully straight, or 5'10" and a half, which is what I've measured the last few times, but it's been a while since I've measured. Anyway, I'm not a super short guy, but I weighed 135 pounds. So I was pretty thin, and I kept all this clothing thinking I'll wear it one day. And then closer to 8 months ago now, I was cleaning up my room because I had like a bunch of junk everywhere and I had nowhere to put my clothes, and the thing that I had for my clothes was full of all that clothes because originally that's where I just kept the clothes I didn't wear. But now I don't really have a closet in my room, so I was using that. So I went through it all and threw out a bunch of clothing. And now I'm kicking myself because I've lost 40 pounds. And I'm getting to the point where I would have started being able to wear some of it. And I threw it all out. And some of it was in really good condition. Some of it wasn't like crazy expensive, but it wasn't like cheap Walmart clothes. Like it was Guess and stuff, right? And so like it's all gone. Kind of kicking myself for it. Oh well. I heard wow. 5'9" is an average. There we go. We'll go with 5'9". Yeah, see, we went in Canada. It's really weird because we use, not everybody, but a lot of people use centimeters and meters and stuff for certain things like distances to places, or like how big something is. But when we're talking about people's heights, almost everybody uses feet here. When it comes to temperatures, outside will measure a certain temperature, but things like, I guess, pools and like cooking temperatures are done in Fahrenheit. A lot of houses still measure their temperature in Fahrenheit. My house is measured in Fahrenheit, so I actually don't know what it's set to in Celsius. I know we set it to 71 Fahrenheit. I don't know what it is in Celsius. It's weird. Canada's really weird. We hold on to like the most random empirical measurements, but imperial measurements, but we use metric for almost everything else. It's really strange. I had somebody get really mad at me because I was on stream where I had said that I was going like 110 or something, 120 on the highway, and they're like, oh my god, you're going 120? And I was like, I'm Canadian, that's like 75. It's not that fast. It's not that crazy. Apart from temperature, it's always Celsius here. Yeah, see, and we use Celsius for temperature, but when it's the human temperature, like if you're measuring somebody's fever or whatever, it's one or the other. And if you're using height, it's in inches, or pool water and like cooking for some reason. But if you're talking to professionals, they will talk in Celsius and centimeters and stuff. So like when you're talking to a doctor, they will say 38 degrees versus 97 or whatever it is. Or when you're talking to, like a chef, they're going to be like, oh, use, 350 degrees Celsius versus 250 or what. I don't know what it is and whatever, but you know what I mean. It's really weird. It's really weird. In medical terms, we always use centimeters and proper Celsius and stuff when we're measuring somebody. And so like I get measured at the doctor's office and they used meters. So I may have actually gotten the number wrong and then just input it wrong. And I thought that she measured me at 5'8". I don't know. It's weird. Canada is strange. Canada's so weird. Yeah, Preston, I moved things around. I moved things around twice. So initially, like last week today, actually, I had both cameras pretty much side by side behind my monitors, and they both had just like slightly different angles, almost like 3D vision, just slightly shifted. But if I'm using two cameras, I wanted to have like a very distinct angle for when I was chatting versus when I'm playing. So I had originally put this camera on this side, but the problem is that this wall where the camera was looking at is just my projection screen and a green screen. So it was really plain, which then made the lighting look really bad because I just looked flat. There was no like contrast. There was no like angles and shapes to my lighting. So it didn't look very good and I hated it. And it looked really boring in the background. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll switch it to the other side, which now works really well because you can kind of see the background, and I put a floodlight over there. So it kind of at least makes a little bit of blue in the background. And now I pop. And then I shifted the other camera just slightly to the side. The only downside now is my chat is way over here. And so it's like I have to keep bouncing back and forth to keep track of what I'm saying. And then that kind of tempts me to look at the other camera, which is not the right one. But I do like the angle. Yeah, Night Owl. I do like the angle. I think it's nice because it shows the whole room and it's much less aesthetic. Like it's much less aesthetically pleasing. In the terms of like it's not perfect where it's just like cool stuff in the background. There's like my couch with a blanket on it, and the door is back there with my projector on the ceiling. Like it's not a very good looking setup on purpose because it looks more like behind the scenes. And then when I go to gameplay, it's literally just like the background shelf and stuff, so it looks much more organized, almost making it very like this is us casually talking, and now it's gameplay and it looks good. You know what I mean? Yeah, relatable. There we go. Yes, I feel bonita. Thank you, Preston. I had a really bad hair day yesterday. And that's not me complaining, actually. Milos, hello. Are these game mittens? No, I have arthritis and something called trigger finger. It's ripping. It's ripping. I have something called trigger finger. And so trigger finger is basically your tendons in your fingers swell and then they lock. And so like I can go up to about here without my fingers locking up. If I go any further, especially this hand, gets locked and then I can't open them without like forcing them open. It almost feels like this is the only explanation I can get, like the feel of it is like measuring tape. You know when you get measuring tape, like the construction measuring tape, and you snap it and you can feel that little pop? That's what it feels like in my fingers when they lock up and I open them, except it's painful. And so this kind of just adds a little bit of pressure, which then stops me from fully closing my hands, and the pressure helps with the pain. So that's the only reason I wear them. I wish it was something like I thought that they were cool, but no, not at all. They're really uncomfortable and my hands itch because of them. It really sucks. Cara bonita. Thank you. Thank you. Although I'm all acne-y today. So the hair. It's not me complaining that I had a bad hair day. I can have a bad hair day. You know how like it was obviously like embarrassing because my hair looked bad, but I had that happen. Like it sounds so stupid, but it genuinely made me feel emotional that I could have a bad hair day. I haven't had a bad hair day in forever because my bad hair day was just something that was out of my control. It was something like my original bad hair day was just, I don't have hair. And so like I haven't cut it, so it looks bad. This time it was like, I can't get it to do what I want. It looks bad. It was such a, oh my God, it hit me in a really strange way. Like I didn't expect to feel that way because of it. It was the placement. So one of the things with this hair is because my oils from my scalp don't nourish the hair dries out. And then that causes it to break and fall out faster, and then you have to replace it faster. And this system in particular is very delicate because it's lace. For those who don't know, there's basically two types of material that they use. They use lace, or they use what they call thin skin, which is like almost like a plastic. It's like a fake skin. And so thin skin gets the hair what they call a V loop. So basically they sew it in place and it makes a V. So it's one really long hair in a V shape, which helps the hair not fall out as easily because it's being held in down the middle, and then the long pieces are hanging out, so it doesn't just like pop out. Whereas lace is manually tied in, so they hand tie every single one with a knot. So the downside is as it dries out, the hair will break. But if you over moisturize, it'll actually undo the knot and it'll just fall out. And so this is a lace, mostly lace. There's thin skin back here, but the rest of it is lace. It's a lot more delicate. It falls out a lot faster. So this one should only last me about 2 to 3 months. The other one was supposed to last me 6 months, but I ripped it. If I really, really take care of it, and I'm super, super delicate about it. But anyways, what I'm getting at is because I don't put oils in it from my own scalp, I have to manually put chemicals in it and stuff to take care of it. So I have like a leave-in conditioner that I use. It's just really expensive. And so one of the things that I do is I put coconut oil in it, just like a tiny, tiny dab, like not even like a pea size, like maybe a quarter of a pea size. And I rub it in my hands and then I rub it in my hair. You can only wash the hair once a week, is what they suggest. Some people go as far as once every 2 weeks. I can't. I sweat a lot, so I have to wash my hair because it'll stink. But I put the coconut oil in, and the thing is that I had put coconut oil in, and then I didn't wash my hair, and then I put coconut oil in again, so it started to look greasy. And then I tried to style it with a little bit of like hair paste, but the brunt of it fell in the front. It was right where it splits, right here. And the coconut oil and the hair paste almost like sealed each other, so it looked like a big chunk of grease, and it was sticking like straight up. See how my hair kind of swoops up and then over? This part was just like straight up. It looked like a cowlick, and it was all greasy looking, and the rest of it was flat. So it was like, it just really looked bad. And then the side here was super flat. So it's like, it went like super flat, sticking straight up, and super flat again. So it looked like I genuinely got up and just walked to work without doing anything with my hair. Like I hadn't showered in a week. So it was just embarrassing. That it was just like, it just wasn't doing anything. I tried like combing it out. I tried using my fingers to mess the rest of the hair up so it would all stick up, and it just, nothing was happening. The only choice would have been to wet it. But at that point I was like, I don't want to wet it again and then be at work with wet hair all day. So I'll endure it. But I had a bad hair day. That's something I haven't had in 10 years. it was a really nice feeling to have, even though having a bad hair day is bad, it was a really nice feeling to have a bad hair day. For those who are new, I have a hair system, a wig, a toupee. And so this isn't my hair. I've been bald. I started balding at about 23. And so this is fairly new for me. I've had it for about 3 months now. I don't, Dakota. I haven't played Elden Ring at all off stream. I was actually supposed to level up last time and I forgot. But yeah, it just having hair that can get messy, waking up with bedhead. Those are the little things that are irritating as a person, but you don't realize how nice it is to have it back, because it just that wasn't something that I had, because I had such little hair. Like, yeah, it was nice to just get up and be able to go, but it's nice to like feel confident in the way you look. Wow, the volume's really low. User, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Sounds scary, dog. Power to you for streaming and doing what you love. Well, thank you, Milos. I really appreciate that. This is fairly new. This started about a year ago. It's gotten really bad over the last like 7 months, but it's because of work. It's the work that I do is pretty rough on my hands, and I was a musician my whole life, so I just kind of made it worse. But thank you. I appreciate that. All right, Dakota, I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind. No, it's exactly the same, Weeman. It's exactly the same, because you know how it is. You try to fix it and it's just like, nope, it's just sticking up. It's so annoying. Are those gamer gloves? No, I have arthritis. I'm an old man. Preston, yes, lace is more expensive. So the last hair system that I had, and now these prices, by the way, for anybody who is kind of curious and doesn't want to say it out loud, these prices are budget prices. Lord Hair, which you can see the logo there, actually. You can actually see it on camera. Lord Hair is who I collaborated with, and they do very, very affordable prices. They're some of the best prices that I've seen out there. But in turn, obviously, they're still kind of learning. They're still, messing with things. They're coming up with new ways that they lay out the thin skin and stuff. So thin skin is cheaper. The downside to thin skin, shut up, Harris Heller. I'm gonna stop using Stream Beats because every other song has a friggin' ad. The downside to thin skin is, one, it's shinier, so the hairline is a lot less believable because it shines, and so you have to buy like an anti-shine thing, or you have to like figure out a way to not make it be as noticeable. Depending on how thin the thin skin is, it can be very, very delicate. So like the ultra thin skin is like, oh my god, it looks almost like tissue paper, thinner than that even. I don't know if you've ever seen, I get into weird parts on TikTok, but there's like this competition that they hold in Japan where they shave wood and they try to go like ultra thin, and it almost looks like spider webbing. Like, it's so thin. They can go almost that thin with the thin skin, and then those rip instantly. Like, you barely pull on them and they rip. So they're very delicate that way. But the thicker ones are much more noticeable. When you touch them, they're much more like the texture is very obvious, and they don't breathe. And so they're much more susceptible to like bacteria and smell. And that was the issue I was having. I know I'm really attractive here. I work, 5 nights a week, and I sweat a lot at work because it's very physical. And because I'm sweating so much that the sweat would get trapped underneath the system. And after 4 days, it would start to smell really bad, no matter if I washed my hair or not. I got to the point where I was washing my hair twice a week, which is not very recommended, and it wasn't helping. And so I got to the point where like I would tape the back and I would use glue on the front, and every day that I would shower, I would pull the skin back and I would wash my scalp and put it back. But that wears down the thin skin as well. So that's the downside to thin skin. Upside is, except for the ultra thin, the regular thin skin is very durable. The hair stays a lot longer because it's that fake skin. When you split it open, you don't see the little knots, which is with this, you can see it if it's darker hair like mine. And it's and overall it can be like, you can stretch it a bit, like you can do stuff with it, versus lace. Lace is hand knotted, so it can fall apart easier. Because it's lace, holes are much more easily made because the lace can eventually just tear down and then it'll get holes in the scalp. And if you use glue, the glue can seep through the lace and end up knotting your hair. So you have to be really, really vigilant about combing it and making sure you get the glue off and whatever. So it's suggested you use tape. But the upside is that it breathes, and so you can sweat and it evaporates. The hairline, it's hard for me to do because I can't like fully see myself. Let me see if I can kind of see what I'm showing you guys. But like the hairline is far less noticeable. Like you can't see where the lace is. And I have lace on my forehead. This is just hair stuck on my forehead because of the glue. But I have lace on my actual forehead. You can kind of see it here where the baby hairs are kind of stuck a little bit, but it looks really natural. And like if I split, it's hard for me to show you guys, but like if I split my scalp, you can kind of, there you go. You can see my scalp and it looks pretty good, right? Like it's not, it's quite believable, the lace, but it really wears down. So when we're going with price, Lord Hair offers different types. Now this one, oh, I can't remember what it's called. But what it is it's thin skin all along the edge to about here. And then the middle and the front is all lace. And so I can use glue back here if I want. I like to use tape because it just holds on better. And because I sweat so much, I don't have to worry about it going into my natural hair. And then I use glue right at the front. I've got one piece of tape in the middle to kind of hold the hairline in place, and then the last maybe centimeter can flip back, and then I glue that daily. I actually use Got2b glue because it's a lot cheaper than the regular glue that they use. The regular glue lasts for weeks. Got2b glue lasts one day. As soon as it's wet, it goes liquid and then it unsticks. But I like that because then I can reapply the glue every day, and I always know that it's sealed properly. Don't split your scalp. I don't recommend. I've done it once. That hurt very much. I still remember. Yes, game time in just a second, user, in just a second. So they have different types. They have some that are completely laced. They have some that are all thin skin, which is what I had before. They have some that like the thin skin actually goes all the way around the whole thing, and just the 1 centimeter is lace in the front for the hairline, and then the middle is lace. Like there's different patterns. So Lord Hair is much more budget friendly. Usually lace pieces can cost up to like $800 depending on how fancy the company is. And Lord Hair has some that are definitely that expensive, but they're much more custom made. Like they can get you to like send in your hair and they'll make sure the hair matches your hair. So it's exactly the same type of thing. The custom shape and everything. It can get pretty expensive. But the original one that I had was about $350 with taxes and everything. This one was $400 before taxes. So this one's quite a bit more expensive, but it's because it's a combination of both. It has the lace, which is much more expensive. And the other thing is because it's lace, it doesn't last as long. So I have to buy it more often. So that instantly brings up the price like way more. Because if I'm gonna have to buy this, let's say 4 times at like the best with me taking care of it, and it's $400, that's $1,600 a year. The other one, on the other hand, was like $350, but I only have to buy it twice a year if I really take care of it. So you know, it's quite a big price difference. But like I said, that one's not very breathable. It's got its issues that you really have to contend with when you're wearing it. But right now I'm working with Lord Hair. I make them videos and stuff so I can try different ones while I'm working with them. So I can see what I like. So far I like this one a lot. The next one I want to try is maybe like a full lace system, or I want to try the same one, but they need to make it bigger. This one's a bit too small. But that was a mistake within like just measurement sizes being taken wrong, and them sending me one that was even smaller than what I had originally measured. So I want to try this one again. But I do want to try the lace, the thin skin fully one more time, and see if maybe working with just glue and like 2 pieces of tape can be something I can do on a regular basis and kind of negate some of the smell. Also, the hair is not as thick, and so maybe that'll make it less hot. The other one was really thick, so I think that might have been kind of resisting some of the evaporation, because it does evaporate a little bit in thin skin, but not as much. So, but yeah, the prices are a bit are pretty expensive, pretty expensive. But yeah. Wow, G homie. No, we went. I think he's referencing where I said let's die together, or let's not die, or something is what I had it as my title for the stream. I think that's what it is. Okay, we can get started. I'm done talking. Wait, does it not anymore? It did. Oh no, you know what it is? We went when I go live. Hold on, when I go live, let me see here. Creator dashboard. I don't think they meant it in a bad way. I don't think they meant it in a bad way. When I go live, yes, the go live notification. When I go live, it sends the notification out and it's got a little message. Mine says Elden Ring, let's get dead together. That's what it is. That's what they're referencing. So I don't think they were trying to be mean. Although there's a lot of people that try to be mean. So I can totally get where you're coming from because, yeah, people like to do that. People really like to do that. All right, it's game time. Let's get started. It's gaming time. It's gaming time. Let me just get my chat on screen because I can't see my chat. I can't see my chat. I can't talk to anybody. It's so annoying. Where's Restream? There's Restream. Okay, can I see this stream? No, it's okay, we win. I get the same way. I totally get the same way. It's really frustrating because there are so many trolls out there. I think that's one of the worst parts about trolls overall. Okay, Steam, Library, Elden Ring, and play. I think that's one of the most annoying things about trolls is they're annoying in general, but the fact that they then make you question everything that everybody says. Because now you don't know if the person is saying what the troll said or they're wording something in a way that sounds like it, but they actually mean something else. Like I had, so I did a video, for those of you who are not on TikTok, I did a video, I agree, G homie, I agree. I did a video where I was talking about how the Xbox Series S is holding back gaming for the Xbox. And it was more a comment on like how there are issues with, really? There are issues. Shush. Sorry, the Go XLR is not plugged into my Elden Ring, so my Elden Ring is like insanely loud for some reason. There are issues with, in my opinion, what Microsoft is expecting from developers. They will want a certain level of graphics, and the truth is that, okay, it is on sample. Why isn't it working? Is this not on sample? Oh, it's on system. It's sample that I want, not system. Okay, so that's why I couldn't hear the alerts earlier. Okay, there we go. People were like gifting and stuff, but it was like super quiet in my ears is because I had system turned down. And so, oh, now I can't see TikTok chat. Dang it. Anyway, so it's very clear that Xbox is kind of gimping. I'm sorry if that's a bad term. I didn't mean it to be a bad term. I thought about it as soon as I said it. They're kind of pro streamer. I totally am. They're kind of slowing down progression for the Xbox because of the Series S. Not that the Series S is bad. It's just I said this in the follow-up videos that I made, but basically, like, you're trying to get people to buy next generation, and the only way you can do that is by showing them why it's next generation, by adding things like ray tracing and better graphics, right? Because we're living in a time where money isn't good, and if you are going to spend $300, you want to make sure that it's for a good reason, right? You want to make sure that it looks good. Why would you buy a console that looks exactly the same as the last generation console? So Xbox is trying to force these developers to use better graphics on the Series S, and the Series S is struggling. And it's just factual. That's just what it is. And this guy commented on it where he just said, Sony fanboys complain about everything. And now I don't know if he meant like the developers are Sony fanboys and they're complaining about the Xbox, or if he meant my video made me a Sony fanboy and that I was complaining and putting down Xbox for no reason. And going back to what I was saying, and that's what trolls did. Trolls have now made it hard for me to figure out what somebody means, because instantly my thought is he's calling me a fanboy, and it's just like I'm not, because like for those who don't know, I own an Xbox Series X, an Xbox Series S, an Xbox One X, an Xbox One S, and the original Xbox One. I own every single Xbox available from one on. I own them all, and so like and my series, my One S is, or my One X is broken, like the hard drive is dead, and my One S, the disk drive died now. But like I own them all, so I'm not an Xbox fanboy, PlayStation fanboy. That being said, I also own a PS5 and a PS3 and a PS4 Pro, so I just like video games, right? Like I don't own allegiance to anybody, and I think it's really stupid when anybody does, because they're big corporations. They don't care about you. They don't care about anything about you. They want your money. That's all they care about. Now, you can be a fan of like the content that's on the platform, obviously, because like PlayStation hands down has better content than Xbox does. But I like the Xbox controller better, And I like Game Pass because I can try new games without having to pay for them, and then I can see if I like them or not. I don't like spending $70 on a game I never play. Red Dead Redemption is an example. Everybody loves it. Everybody thinks it's great. I've tried playing it multiple times, and I keep getting bored and stop playing. And it's like I spent $80 on that game, and I maybe have put in 10 hours, and I'm still at the beginning of the story, and it's just like I need to get past that. Whereas Game Pass, it's free, so it's like I don't have a fandom for any platform. I just like either the hardware or the software that's on it. It's like the Oculus Quest. I hate Facebook. I hate Meta. Mark Zuckerberg can jump off a hill for all I care, but I like VR. And that has accessibility to a large range of games out there. And so it's like, of course I use it. Doesn't mean that I think that the Quest is like the best thing in the whole world. It's just that's the better choice out of all the VR headsets right now. I do, DD. I do. I have, I have, the household has 2 Nintendo Switches and 2 Nintendo Switch Lites. The one Switch Lite is mine, one is my daughter's. The one full-blown Switch was for streaming. I had bought that originally, and then I bought the Switch Lite because I was working and I would stay in my car for hours on end sometimes, so I'd have the little Switch to play with. The second Switch is because that one broke. The casing cracked and the fan grill thing broke off. And it was starting to like make a noise with the fan, so I didn't want to rely on it for the stream, so I bought a backup. I also have I have a ton of consoles. I have an N64, I have an SNES, I have an NES. My SNES is a clone console though. I have an NES, I have a Game Gear. That one, some of the capacitors are broken though, so it doesn't work. I have a Game Boy Color. I have a regular Game Boy that was actually custom made by Girl Thulu, which is phenomenal. It's got my little logo on it. I love it. What else do I have? I don't even know what else I have. I don't know. I have the Oculus Quest, I have the Rift S, but that one, the controllers are broken, and I can't find replacements, which really sucks. I don't know. I have a lot of consoles. Is what I can say. I hate this. I can't see the chat for Restream. I don't know what NFSU is. You have an Xbox 360? I had one of those, and then it died. It red ringed for me. It did the red ring of death, so I threw it out. Oh, Need for Speed Underground 2. Okay. Yeah, that game was great. That game was awesome. Restream, you're doing something really weird with the chat. The chat is only taking up like a small portion of my screen. It's really weird. It's hard to read. Oh well. I'll do what I can. It's been off for 2 years. Okay, let's get started. I'm running out of time. I've been talking too much. It's 1:43. Oh, already? We're only gonna get to play for like half an hour. I gotta pick up Nora at 2:30. We're only gonna get to play like half an hour. That's dumb. Oh well. Sorry, everybody. I talked too much. But yeah, I've got a lot of consoles. Okay, so we win. Where was it that you said that I could get the 2 smithing stone things, somber stones? I have a Wii as well. Yeah, I have a Wii as well. I don't have a GameCube, but I have the Wii that plays the GameCube games, and I have a Wii U. I forgot about that. How you doing, Bitsy? I hope you're doing well. How's life? And you recently bought a PS4? Limbrave. Or Limrave. Okay. Limrave. Down here? Okay. I guess... What's over here? Have I gone to this area? I must have. I don't know. Let's see if I can reach that area. Let's look over here. Except for the Switch OLED. Yeah, I'm torn. I want the Switch OLED because no, I don't live in Edmonton, Hero. I live in Ontario. You can tell the excitement in my voice. Actually, it's not too bad. I live in the Falls, and so my weather is actually pretty decent here most of the year. So I can't complain. Merritt, hello, welcome. PAX East next week. Oh, I've always wanted to go to PAX East. I went to PAX South once and I loved it. It was really fun, but I think I loved it more. Whoops. I think I loved it more because I was with a whole bunch of other streamers that I knew at the time. When I first started, I was on YouTube and we had our own little like streaming group that we all hung out and we all knew each other and hung out and had fun. And so we got to see each other and it was really fun. I think that's what made PAX South fun. But if I recall, PAX East is the better PAX, isn't it? That's like one of the better ones. Ontario is exciting. We have Brantford. Yeah, Brantford. But don't ever call them... oh, what's the other one? Brantford and... Brampton. Brampton and Brantford. Don't ever confuse them. They get so offended. They get so offended. I'm not speaking from experience at all. I don't know who would not know which one is which. Definitely not me. Yeah, I mean, if you're outgoing and are willing to talk to people, you'll meet people. There's some really cool people there. I met one guy. I can't remember his screen name now because it's been years. It's been like almost 6 years since I went. But I met him there and we chatted because I was waiting for somebody at the front door. This guy, Jesse, is who I was waiting for. He's amazing. He was the first guy that ever gave me a donation that was over $1. And he's the sweetest guy in the world. He's such a nice guy. I haven't talked to him in a little while. I should probably send him a message, see how he's doing. This is my ADHD brain taking over, folks. I think of messaging people. I think of seeing how they're doing, and then I forget about it. Not because I don't want to, it's just I don't remember to. Anyways, Jesse was one of the greatest guys ever. And so I was waiting for him at the front, and this random guy was just kind of standing there, and he started chatting with me. And with my social awkwardness, I was like, does he want something from me? And we exchanged, some niceties and whatever. And then he was saying that he had just started streaming, and I had just started streaming maybe 6 months beforehand. But he had like 30 followers. I had like 1,000. And so for him, I was huge. When you're starting out, especially back then on YouTube, there weren't a lot of big streaming channels. And so he would come to the stream once in a while. So, I met somebody who used to come out and hang out on my stream. I rated him a couple of times, I want to say. So yeah, if you're outgoing, you'll meet some people, because streamers, especially streamers that are just starting out, I don't want to say small streamers because I know a lot of people hate that term and it's got a lot of negativity tied to it, but ones that don't have a gigantic community are always open to meet new streamers. So I hope you have fun. I would never get offended. I used to live there. Oh man, some people got really mad. Some people got really, really mad when I confused Brantford and Brampton. But yeah, I hope you have fun. Yeah, Bitsy, that's the hardest part, is having that social battery last. We had a really, really good time. I think the excitement was able to keep my social battery going, and because it was overall short term. Okay, I'm trying to get to this thing, so I'm going the wrong way. Overall, it was short term, like it was 3 days. So it was nice. The only thing that I didn't like was I wanted to see some panels. Like the completionist was going to be there. What's his name? Gerard Jalil, I think is his name. I think that's his name. He was going to be there, and he was going to be there with the Beard Bros guy that he always did stuff with, Alex. And I really wanted to watch them, and none of my streamer friends actually watched YouTube. They were only interested in streaming. And so none of them have an interest in going to any of the panels, which really disappointed me because I wanted to. I did get to meet Angry Joe there, which was really cool. Here's an embarrassing story. If you know who Angry Joe is, and if you don't, here's a little bit of background to it. Angry Joe is a game reviewer. Kind of when the whole angry video game nerd was a big thing. He started with that moron, Nostalgia Critic. That guy. He started with him. And he slowly kind of went off and did his own thing, and then he became huge in his own right. And he does video game reviews. He does a lot of angry reviews, but they're not angry for like the sake of being angry. Like the AVGN will get mad at like nitpicky, stupid things, whereas like Angry Joe will get mad at things that are not good in the game, and he'll complain about them and he'll get angry, but the anger at least makes sense, right? And it's realistic anger. And he's great. He's awesome. I love his content. I haven't watched him too much lately because he's taking longer and longer between videos, and now he does a lot of podcast stuff and like live streams, and I'm just not interested in watching him do that. But anyways, he's great. But one of the things that he has always railed against is Nintendo, because especially back then, Nintendo was copyright claiming everything, and Angry Joe lived off his ad revenue. And so does this guy sell it? I don't know. He would do things like put the videos in reverse and not use any sound and just use pictures. Like, he was really trying hard to fix using Nintendo content, because like Breath of the Wild was out and stuff, but he would always get hit, and so he hated Nintendo. Like, he absolutely hated Nintendo. I don't know if he still does. So with that in mind, I met him. I was at one of the areas where they did like board games and stuff, and I just happened to see him. And the funny thing is, he looks like a guy who used to be my best friend. He looks like him before my best friend fell into hard times. And so when I saw him, that's what caught my eye. And then I was like, oh my God, it's Angry Joe. And so I walked up, I'm like, you're Angry Joe, right? He's like, yeah. And I shook his hand, and then he took a picture with me. And I had bought a plushie to get all my friends to sign, which I still have, actually. I'll show you. I'll show you the proof so you can tell I'm not making this story up. Hold on. I bought a plushie for all my friends to sign because I wanted to have memorabilia, because at that point I had quit streaming and I didn't expect to ever... Oh, I can't go to that island? Okay. I never expected to continue streaming. At that point I had to quit because I had lost my job. And so it was really big for me to go to PAX, because my viewers and my friends all donated together to get me flown out there. And it was really touching because I had to quit streaming because I had lost my job. And so I bought a plushie that I wanted everybody to sign so I could have at least that memory of like that really good time that I had in my life when I had been streaming and whatever. And I asked Angry Joe to sign it. Knowing all that, this is what he signed. I got him to sign a Yoshi. Now, in retrospect, I wonder if he thought I was being a dick and getting him to sign something that he hates. But I wasn't. Liam, hello, how you doing? Welcome. I didn't even think about it. It just hadn't clicked to me, and I hadn't really paid attention to the fact that he didn't like Nintendo. I had heard him complain about it, but I didn't realize how much he hated them. And then like a year later, he made a video talking about never doing Nintendo content again, and I was like, uh-oh. But there's his signature. It's hard to focus right there. Angry Joe. He even drew an angry face and everything. But I got a bunch of people to sign it. Like Johnny, that was the brother of one of the streamers. Jesse signed right here. Jesse, the nice guy. I think this was Corey for CC Gaming. One Shot Girl signed over here. One Shot Girl is a pretty big streamer. Stat also signed. He's another really big streamer. They both play like Fortnite and first-person shooters and stuff. No, that's Corey for CC Gaming. Yeah, a bunch of people. Kat signed right in the crotch because that's just her thing. I had a bunch of people sign. RFG, Relaxy Fun and Gaming. She does like a lot of ASMR stuff. But yeah, I had that with everybody signing it. It was really nice. But yeah, I got Angry Joe to sign a Nintendo product, and I didn't realize how much that would have actually meant. Whilst your dinner cooks, nice. What are you making for dinner? But yeah, I had a lot of fun at PAX. A lot of fun at PAX, and I wish I could go back again. But now I don't really talk to those people anymore. They're not really big on Twitch, and when I left YouTube for Twitch, I pretty much stopped hearing from most of them. There was also a lot of drama that happened there, so I'm really glad I kind of walked away from that group. Like there was an affair and a divorce and like a weird relationship that formed, and yeah, it was just a lot of drama. And so like I'm kind of glad I walked away from that. That being said, I miss a lot of them. A lot of them were really, really fun people. But PAX was awesome. Oh my god, there's so many of you guys. PAX was something I wish I could go do again. Whoops, wrong button. It did, but I'm glad I left for it because I would not want to. I wouldn't want to have dealt with that. Like there was already drama while I was there. Like there was people who liked people and they didn't like each other back, and there was like infighting about it, and it got messy. But like at one point there was a married couple and they went to an event, one of those events like PAX or something, I don't know which one it was,
And at the event, they got together with one of the other streamers. Like all three of them streamed, and they had a ménage à trois, as they would say. And it kind of became an ongoing thing. And then the guy from the couple and then the girl who was the other streamer continuously flirted. And then out of the blue, the guy divorced his wife. And then it like basically turned into him and the other streamer constantly streaming together, to the point where like she, for a while there, wasn't streaming by herself. He was involved in every stream, and people were kind of weirded out by it because their themes were very different. His theme was very like business. He would wear a suit for every stream, and he had a one screen name, and then he changed his screen name and started becoming more casual and less family friendly, kind of like morphing to fit into her group. And then it turns out that they got together, and it just got really weird. It just got really, really weird. Drama filled, like big time. And I go back and I watch the one streamer who was at the time a big streamer in my eyes. She had about 5,000 followers. But now I'm at like 4,000. I realize that it's not a very big following. Now she's at 10. But it's taken her 6 years to get to that. From 6 to 10. Or 5 to 10. It's taken her 6 years for that. That's less than 1,000 per year. So, and you look at her quality, and it's practically the same as it was from back then. Like, she hasn't upgraded her stream in any way, in any significant way. And so it was just, it felt very like they were stunted in their growth. Like they just weren't doing anything. They weren't taking anything professionally. It was just very, I don't know. It just didn't have a good vibe to it. So I'm kind of glad I walked away. I haven't. This area, no, I haven't. Hello, Dakota. Welcome back. But yeah, so I'm glad I walked away from all that mess. I still care about these people a lot. You know, I still cherish everything that I went through with them and all the raids and all the fun times we had together. But I'm glad I walked away before all the drama really started. There was already some drama that was a little bit too close to home for me. Thankfully, the only drama I was ever involved with was with the one guy who was my moderator and was like attacking people. That was the only drama I was ever directly involved with. Outside of that, I was kind of just like the outsider listening in. But there was some stuff that affected some streamers that were like really close to me. And it was messy, and I'm really glad I wasn't involved in that and that I walked away. Streaming can be really messy. And I don't recommend getting involved in that way. That's almost like why I keep a wall between me and people. Because it's just too easy to misconstrue something somebody says, or to say somebody said something that they didn't say. And it's just not worth it. It's really not. I had one guy once. He was a high school friend of mine. We've known each other for years and years and years. He was one of my best friends in high school. And we were like the outcasts. By the time him and I became friends is when I stopped really trying to be cool or fit in or anything. Oh, crap. Oh, absolutely, Bitsy. It's just like high school. The amount of like full-grown adults that I see gossiping about each other and like trash talking each other over really stupid things. It's like I spent my whole life thinking, you know, when I grow up, that drama's going to stop because people are going to get mature. And it just gets worse as you get older. Because now the drama can no longer be categorized as childish because you're an adult. But like... It's even more childish because now you feel like you're not being childish, so you can double down on the stupid things you say. I hate it. I hate it so much. I'm not saying all streamers are like this, but it can happen, and it's really frustrating. But yeah, like people get mad at each other, and people talk crap, and so I keep kind of a wall. What I was saying about the guy in the high school. So him and I, we were really good friends. It was 3 of us, 4 of us really. The one guy was like full blown weird. Like he really wanted attention and acceptance. So he would do the weirdest thing possible to make people laugh. Like we'd be walking down the street and he would, oh, I don't get poisoned if I'm on the horse. That's cool. We'd be walking down the street and he would see like an old used razor blade on the floor, on the ground. Not with the blade, but like the plastic safety handle or whatever. And he would just shove it in his mouth and walk down the street with that in his mouth. Post-COVID, that's like, oh my God, I can't even believe that we like dealt with that. But he would do stuff like that. He got kicked out of school for a while because I went to a Catholic school. And at least here, Catholic schools all have to wear uniforms. They're basically what private schools are in the States. But we have private schools here too, but they're the same idea. You wear uniforms. There's a high standard of how you're supposed to dress and act and everything. And one of the things was you couldn't have eccentric hair. And now he was half black, so he had very, very curly hair. And he would wear like little ponytails all through his hair, but he wouldn't style it. Like, you know how you can, put ponytails in, but it's styled and, they twist it or whatever. No, his was literally like the little tiny multicolored plastic O-rings, and he would just tie his hair. So it was just like a big mess. It looked like he had stuck his finger in an electrical socket. And he didn't do it because he thought the style was good. He did it because he wanted attention. And he got kicked out of school for a while for that. And that's just the kind of guy he was. And so there was him, there was me, and then there was my friend that I'm talking about now, who was a drama guy, but he was always very like ultra negative about everything. Like, I'm a pretty negative guy. This guy was like ultra negative. Like, his family lived off of government assistance. He's never done anything with his life, so he's living off government assistance. Just a very victimized mentality. And then there was the other guy whose family was very successful. He was also an outcast. He had his own band. He was like an alt kid. And now the last I talked to him, which was like shortly after college, he was a developer. He did well for himself. And so like we were all outcasts in our own way. So the one guy, the super negative guy, him and I got in contact. He messaged me out of the blue just to see how I was doing. And then we started chatting. I told him I was doing my content, and then he wanted some tips because he wanted to make content, but he had been kind of struggling with, holy crap, you're a tank. He had been struggling with motivation. And so he would like pick my brain and stuff. And then one day he asked if he could come to the stream to kind of see how I do things. So I was like, yeah, come to the stream. That's cool. He lived a very unhealthy lifestyle. He was drinking like 5 or 6 not Red Bulls, the other ones, Monsters, 5 or 6 Monsters a day. Like, this guy was not leading a very healthy life. And so he came to the stream, and it was fun and whatever. I don't really like streaming with other people next to me constantly. It's fun once in a while. But it was fine. And then he like started getting involved in the chat. He was at every stream, and then he joined my Discord. And then I started noticing that he was flirting with people in my Discord. Like, constantly flirting. And the thing is that he was flirting with one in particular a lot. And now at the time I was like 27, so he must have been about 26. And she was 14 and he was flirting with her. And it was just like not a good look. So we had a talk, and then he ended up not participating in the channel anymore. But it was just like, that could have gone down in a really bad way, and I would have been implemented in that because he was my friend. Despite me not having anything to do with it and not knowing what was happening, I was involved in that. He was about 26. Isn't it classed as adultish? Wait, what part? Sorry, I was talking and I wasn't reading TikTok because it didn't come up on my stream. I just looked at my tablet. What part? Adultish? I don't know. Yeah, Dakota. Now, in his, not defense, but like the only thing I can give him is she had never said her age. But that's why you don't flirt with people you don't know. And it was just like, you don't cross that boundary. Because you don't know the person. You don't know how old they are. You don't know what their mentality is, right? Like, they might be very vulnerable, and you see it as them, really being into you, but they're actually just vulnerable. And then you end up saying the wrong thing, and then they feel pressured into doing something that they didn't want to do, but because they're vulnerable, they don't want to stand up to you. And now all of a sudden you're in a really deep mess, and it's like, no, I can't do that. So it's like, I try to keep a wall between me and viewers for that specific reason. At the end of my Discord time, because I don't have a Discord for anybody who doesn't know, at But at the end of the time that I was on there, I would get random people messaging me. And usually it was younger kids, you know, and it was literally just like, oh my God, I love your content. Thank you so much. And please keep making Mario Maker or whatever. And I would just say thank you. And that was about it. And most of the time I would just ignore the message because I didn't want to open that door. But there were a few times where I had younger women message me, and younger as in like 17, 18, 19 years old. And they would message me and they would tell me something private, not like in adult nature at all. But like, you know, they'd be like, well, I'm struggling right now because my boyfriend broke up with me or whatever. And it's like, that's where you start getting into dangerous territory. And it's like, I don't want to talk like that. I don't want to talk about that stuff with you. If you have a question about content because you want to be a content creator, or like you have an issue with somebody in my stream, then yeah, feel free to contact me because I will absolutely want to deal with it. But if you're just calling me because you're depressed, I don't want to talk to you because I don't know you like that, and I don't want to be the person you're going to turn to. Because even if you were an adult and you're asking me stuff like that, I don't want to say the wrong thing and send you down the wrong path. You know what I mean? Yeah, and when you're flirty out in the open, it's totally fine. Because we're out in the open, there's a bunch of people watching the stream and we can flirt and it's fine. It's different when it's a private flirt. And it's just like, I don't know you. Like, you and me are friends now. And so if you said something flirty privately, it's very different because I know you now. Whereas like this one girl that said that, I had talked to a few times on stream and that was about it. There was another one that I had seen randomly on stream like once in a while. And then they started coming to the stream a lot and they would always donate at every stream. Yeah, Dark Rider. I solved depression. That's it. And so she would donate every stream, and mostly it was like $1, $2, and she would always kind of have that flirtatious energy with every stream message, every donation message, and she would constantly say she's going to donate more, and the thing is sometimes she would donate up to $50 in a stream, all through $1, $2 donations, and this went on for about a week, and constantly like flirting and everything, and then out of the blue she messages me privately. And from what I remember, she was like 19, I want to say. And I was like 28, 29. No, I must have been like 30. I must have been about 30. And so she's 19. And she messages me privately. And it's just a picture of her next to her birthday cake. She's like, it's my birthday. It wasn't suggestive in any way, but she's wearing like a short skirt. It's a very tight-fitting outfit. And it was just really like awkward. Because I was like, we're not friends. I wasn't talking to you privately. We had never exchanged even a single word outside of stream. And now you're just sending me a picture of yourself in your birthday outfit saying it's your birthday and that you want me to wish you a happy birthday. And then I was like, oh, that's great. Happy birthday. And that's all I said. And then she messaged back and she's like, don't you think I look beautiful? And then I just didn't respond after that because it was just like, I don't like where this is going. I really don't like where this is going, and I'm not going to go down that path with you. But some people, streaming is about community and making friendships and stuff. But some people forget that we're still complete strangers. We still don't know each other really. And so like, I might be super, super nice to you, but you don't know who I am behind closed doors. You don't know how much of a miserable grump I could be. Dang it. And so like, you need to keep that distance because I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're capable of. And I had it happen once when I was in high school. I was just graduated high school, actually. I mentioned it before. I used to run like a dancing squad in school, and I was one of the choreographers. And obviously when it's in school, yeah, we'll go here, I guess. When it's in school, exactly, we went exactly. Like Dark Rider, I don't mind telling somebody if they're beautiful, if they're attractive or whatever. I'd rather do it in public, and I've done it before. There was somebody that came to the stream that I hadn't talked to in a little bit, and they had commented that their mom brings up like their ex-boyfriend's new girlfriends or whatever, and that the mom always says, but she's always prettier, like the person chatting. And I told her flat out, I think she's absolutely beautiful. But that's it. I just think she's very beautiful. I'm not saying it in like, you're so beautiful, oh my god, I want you. No. She's a beautiful person. There are very handsome guys out there that I look at and I'm like, oh my god, you're gorgeous. I'm so jealous. But I'm okay with it open. It's but you can kind of feel the energy shift when it's just a compliment or like a joking flirt versus like a legitimate trying to like start something. But yeah, in high school, I used to run this dancing squad, and in school, you have to have a teacher. At least here, you have to have a teacher be in charge of the clubs and stuff. And so that teacher got hired on to a different school, and she called me because at that point I was graduated. She was only about 5 years older than me, so we had become friends. And she asked me to come into her new school to help her choreograph some dances. And so I was helping the girls learn their dances because that group was all girls. All young women, and one of the things that I was using, that, mind you, at the time, these women were all like between 16 and 19, and I was 19, so I wasn't like an old man in that group. I was literally within their age range. And so one of the things that I said to them was, you know, like when you're on stage, you want to like be sexy, like you want to, and not like in the way you dress, but like the way you act, your energy of like, I'm hot, I know I'm hot, you all know I'm hot, and that just sells the dance better. And that was it. Like I was just using that as the example of like, just have that confidence of like, I'm sexy and I know it type of thing. This was before the song came out. Thank you very much. And then there was this girl who was a little bit flirty, and at the time I was with somebody. She was expecting. And so like, it was a serious relationship. It wasn't just like, she's my girlfriend, like I'm going to be a dad. And yes, I was a very young dad. And so this girl tries adding me to Facebook. So I accept. Because again, I've never done this kind of stuff. So I was like, yeah, okay, cool. She wants to add me to Facebook. And so she asked me a couple of questions of like, you know, oh, I'm having trouble with this part of the dance. Can you help me? And like, I don't understand this. And that was it. It was very, very, very innocent. There was no flirting whatsoever. And then she went to the school and started telling the other girls that I was giving her private lessons, that I was telling her how beautiful she was, that we had spent hours on the phone together when we had never talked, except for like maybe 6 messages. And so when I showed up at the school for the next rehearsal, the teacher met me at the door and she told me I wasn't allowed in. And that she had talked to one of the other teachers because the girl had approached her. One of the other girls had approached her to tell her that this girl had said these things. And then when she talked to their teacher, she said that she didn't realize that I needed to have like a police background check and a bunch of other stuff. And she's like, it's just for a couple of more weeks. It's okay. I'm not going to get you to do all that. I don't want you here anymore. And I was humiliated and I was infuriated because she said this and I hadn't done it, and I had the proof that I hadn't done it. So I very quickly learned to keep people at arm's length when you're working and they're either, you know, a fan or a viewer or you're teaching them something. You don't want to cross any kind of friendly boundary because they'll quickly turn around and stab you in the back if they're that kind of person. Later on, this girl ended up getting her boyfriend arrested. Because she accused him of doing some pretty nasty stuff, and I knew the guy, and that's not the kind of guy he was. But after what I had experienced with her, I was more than willing to believe that she lied. Because I will always believe the victim until proven otherwise. But she had proven otherwise before she became a victim, so I don't believe her at all. And you just don't know, especially with the internet. That was somebody that my sister went to school with her. My sister was in that school and went to school with this girl. And she did that. And that's how I started hearing it, is my sister started telling me that. And so it was very, very awkward. And now imagine somebody who I don't know at all, who lives on the other side of the planet, who I don't really even know if it's, you know, if they say they're a woman, but they could just be a 50-year-old fat guy sitting at a computer having a laugh. I don't know who I'm talking to. And so it's like, you got to keep your distance because you don't know who it is, and you don't know what they're capable of and what they're willing to say. How many times have you seen the people exposing content creators for something that they didn't do in the long run? But everybody destroys this person's reputation because they believe the victim, which you should. But there are enough bad people out there that you shouldn't run the risk. I'm not saying that we should doubt anybody. What I'm saying is, as the content creator, don't run the risk of putting yourself in the shoes of potentially having that happen. You know what I mean? But it's messy. It's messy being a content creator, and I think too many people want to be friends and forget that we're still strangers, and I'm still a content creator. I'm still providing you with entertainment, and there's an inherent wall you have to kind of put in place. There are very few people that I talk to. Whoa, what is that thing? Oh, it's an Erd tree. There are very few people that I talk to privately outside of stream. Oh my god. And even then, it's almost always business questions. Like, I'm stuck on something and I don't know what to do, or like I'm experiencing something that I've never experienced, and like, how do I approach it, or how do they approach it? Or like, I'll send them like well wishes if they're going through a rough time. Oh crap! Shag, hello, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Zachary, hello. I'm glad. Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes it's really hard because some of us get into this because we're lonely, right? Like, it's crap. Some of us get into this because we're lonely. Some of us, you know, we don't have friends, or we work in a place where like we don't really fit in, and so you're kind of looking for a community that you can participate in. I've had people that came in looking for friends, and then they became streamers because they liked the whole thing of having a community, and then they had their own community. And so it's like, I get it, but it's still, it still should be treated somewhat like a job, as far as like at least keeping it professional, right? You can still be friendly, you can still talk privately and stuff. Just be weary, be very weary, because you never know what could happen. I've known of instances where like even streamers that were friends would tell each other something private, and then one streamer would turn around and make it public. And it was just like, why would you do that? They told you that in confidence, and then you went and made it public. But then the other streamer doesn't want to call them out because they don't want drama. And so it's like, I prefer just kind of keeping people at an arm's length. There are people that I respect deeply as streamers and that I consider my streamer friends, but I don't consider them my friends, right? Like, Kadea is somebody that I look up to and admire, and I think Kadea is just fucking amazing. She's so entertaining, she's so smart, she's so strong. And I consider her my stream friend, but I don't consider her my friend. Like, I wouldn't consider her my friend. Like, if something happened to me, I wouldn't like run to her and tell her, or like, you know, I wouldn't message her to be like, hey, how's life? No, I've messaged her a few times privately because like I've seen sometimes people are really coming after her, or like she'll say something and it'll make me think of something, and I'll message her and be like, hey, this and this. Or I've had questions because she's very business savvy, but she's not my friend. Oh crap. And I think a lot of people tend to forget the excitement of streaming almost makes you forget that in the end, we're still all strangers. Oh, crap. One hit dead. One hit dead. Tubin Monkey, how you doing, man? Welcome. Infinity Gamer, it's going well. Sorry, I wasn't looking at chat. I wasn't looking at chat, and it's not popped up, and I can't go over. Come here. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. I didn't see. Okay. Those dodges were on point for a second. Baha, hello. Welcome. I'll forever be an amateur. Oh, Baha, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You're good at it with your profession in general, right? It's exactly like the profession. You can be very, very nice and very kind to your patients, but then there's still always that level of just like, I'm not gonna cross that line. But it doesn't mean you can't be a goofball and a nerd, because I totally am. Infinity, Elden Ring's going good. I'm getting my butt kicked really badly. Tubin Monkey, guys, if you know Tubin Monkey, if you don't know Tubin Monkey, I mean, he does a lot of horror content. And he is freaking hilarious because, like, the people who've been here for a while, they know I scream a lot during my streams. I get scared very, very easily. And it's kind of an ongoing joke about me being scared all the time. Baha, I really appreciate it. I didn't even see that you raided because the messages were all gone. So it was you that raided, because all I saw was raid, but then it didn't follow with who it was. So I just saw the one message that said raid. I didn't see everybody else because of the stupid chat. Oh my god, I feel like an idiot now. Because this is what happened. I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat and pretend like I'm smart or whatever. I saw Shag say Baha raid, but I didn't read it as Baha like like your name. I read it as Baha, as in like, you know how some people go Baha, that's funny. I read it as Baha raid, like an idiot. And then I sat waiting for the raid. I was like, nobody's raided. Were they talking about the fight? Was what they meant with the raid? That's where that's where I thought it was going. So now that you said glad you could raid, we could raid you. Then it clicked. Then it clicked. Now I'm scrolling up to see everybody. Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh God. Okay, real quick before I talk about Tube and Monkey. Jews Bloody, thank you so much for that raid. Light Gazer, long time no see. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the raid as well. I really, really appreciate it. What were you streaming? What were you playing? How has life been? I have never caught you live, ever. I see, like, when I go to my subscription feed, I see that you've been live, but I've never been able to catch you live. I've gone back and watched some of your streams, but I've never been able to actually, like, actively see you live. How was it? How are things going? I apologize. Everybody, I'm sorry. That was such an anticlimactic raid. I so apologize. I hate that so much as a streamer. I hate when I raid somebody and they just don't get it. Because, like, I feel bad for my community that, like, they're all excited and then the person just doesn't click. So I apologize. Did it switch? I don't know. Yes, it did. I haven't been raiding at all since I came back. I took like a year and a couple months off streaming, and so I haven't been raiding at all. Mainly because I'm on so many platforms, and like I don't want to raid on YouTube and then nobody on Twitch is going to go, or raid on Twitch and nobody on YouTube is going to go. And I'm also on TikTok, and like raids aren't a thing there, so it's like I just don't do it. So it just didn't click to me. So I apologize. But I hope you're doing well, guys. Baha is somebody part of the YouTube group that I was talking about earlier, somebody that I've known for a very, very long time, although we didn't meet at PAX. Because I want to say Baha and I didn't actually know each other when I went to PAX. I think that you guys came onto the scene shortly after. But yeah, Baha and his significant other are both streamers. They're really, really kind people. Celeste, nice. Wow, tons of levels. That's awesome. That's so cool. Are you looking forward to that new game that the devs are making that's very Celeste-like and the same devs are making it? That one looks really cool. I think it's going to be fun. But yeah, Baha's awesome. Thank you so much for the raid. Anybody that's on YouTube, you should check out Baha. He's great. He's got really great energy. I went to PAX. Oh God, it must have been 2017? 2017 or 2016. I want to say. It may have even been before that. I want to say 2017, but I'm not 100% sure. It was quite a while ago, though. Way long before. Because by 2019, I was on Twitch by then, and I had been on Twitch for about a year. And then I took a year and a couple months off of Twitch, and now I'm here. So that would have been all of 2022 I was off Twitch. So it would have been like 2017, 2017 is what it would have been. Yeah. I don't think you had even, like, I don't think we ever even saw each other online before then, because I was, yeah, I want to say that I had been streaming for about a year before I met you and Ballin. I want to say, yeah. Yeah, because at PAX, there was like, Corey was there, Kat was there, there were a couple of guys that I didn't know that were there. My brother was there, obviously. That was pretty much the small group. There were a few others, and their names are escaping me right now. Which my brain sucks. BPD. Like, are you the BPD? Or did you just take the name for the lulz? I do like Elden Ring though. Is PAX South no longer a thing? Really? I haven't been keeping in touch because my heart always breaks because I think of the time that I went and I don't get to go, and so like I always feel sad. Now not so much because I'm not really big on the YouTube thing. I've only started streaming on YouTube now for the first time in like 4 years, so like I kind of fell out of the group. But I didn't know PAX South was a thing. All right, Baja, thank you so much for rating. I really appreciate it. Have yourself a really good day. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the raid. That's really kind of you, man. I hope we can meet one day. I hope we can meet one day. My brother says that you guys are awesome. Yeah, he met you too, right? I know he met Ballin. I'm pretty sure he met you too. Anyways, my brother says you guys are awesome. I really wish I could meet you guys. But yes, as far as Tube and Monkey guys, you all laugh at me screaming. But like my screams in comparison to Tube and Monkey would be like my screams compared to somebody going because Tube and Monkey is friggin' hysterical and everything scares him and it's amazing and it's so fun. And it's your wife, right? Goes out of her way to scare him. And it's friggin' golden because you'll be so into what he's doing and she'll just come up behind him and scare the crap out of him. And then he freaks out. It's so good. You need to watch Tube and Monkey if you like jump scares. He's amazing. He's so amazing. Oh man. No way, man. I look up to you. I love your scared stuff. It's so good. It's so good. I don't get so many jump scares anymore, which kind of sucks for me because I like being scared. But I think you're freaking hilarious. You're hysterical, dude. And that sucks. That really sucks, the post-COVID thing. It makes sense. Conventions in general have kind of gone downhill. Even like the last couple of years before COVID started, it really started to not be good. A lot of companies were just not finding the value in it because they could just do it way cheaper online instead of paying for the venue and paying for, you know, people to be there and to run it and all that stuff. Looking at the wrong camera. And so like it became very disappointing from everything that I saw. Like E3 has really gone downhill before COVID. There was another one that was like super disappointing where there used to be a bunch of stuff and it just became really, really dull. So it was already kind of, the writing was on the wall and then COVID just kind of put that nail in the coffin. She was hiding better. I used to be that kind of person. I used to love scaring my mom. My mom was really like easily scared and I used to love scaring her. But now I don't do that stuff and it kind of sucks. My daughter tries really hard, but she's 9, but she doesn't grasp the concept of like not letting us know she's gonna scare us. And so like she'll make a ton of noise when she goes to hide and it's really obvious she's going to hide. And so when she comes out to scare us, it's like it's not scary. Or she'll wait far too long. It almost kills the moment she could have scared us, if you know what I mean. The timing is really bad. And she gets so disappointed. I think the cutest part of it all is she gets disappointed that she doesn't scare us, right? And I play along with it a bit more. Her mom is very, you didn't scare me, and that's it. She's like, you got to try harder if you're going to scare me. But the most adorable part is when she doesn't scare us, she'll instantly try to hide in front of us. Like, I'll be sitting here, she'll be like, rah! And I'll be like, you almost got me that time. She's like, oh. And then I'll see her go and hide behind the couch. Immediately. Like, she doesn't wait for me to kind of get distracted and she goes and hides. She'll just walk away and go hide behind the couch. like she's hoping she's gonna, like, I'm gonna forget and then she can scare me. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Oh, man. 66 iPod Touch. I appreciate it. I've been talking a lot. I haven't really done a lot of gameplay. Oh, man. I gotta get going soon, too, because I gotta go pick up my daughter, actually. But Tube and Monkey, I've noticed a huge level up in your streams over the last, like, year. In growth and in quality overall. Dude, your streams are doing really well, quality-wise. I'm really liking what you're doing with your streams. Overall, the whole page is just... I like your content, man. I really like your content. But yeah, I like the whole jump scare thing, and Tube and Monkey is the king of scares. He's freaking hilarious. I think my biggest issue that I'm struggling with right now with jump scares is one... There we go. Usually my daughter's asleep when I'm playing, and so I almost try to restrain myself because I'm afraid to wake her up. And two... I started ADHD meds about, oh god, a few years ago now. It's been at least, I think, 2 years now. And they've really messed with my ability to concentrate on the game I'm playing and in turn get scared. I don't get scared. Like, I get scared. It's just when I'm streaming, I'm more distracted by the chat, so I don't allow myself to get absorbed. And so then the scares don't happen as easily. So I'm struggling with that a little bit right now. I'm trying to figure out how I can do it so I get scared, because it almost feels like it's not even worth trying to get scared. So I got to figure out a way how. The best way I can do it is turning off all the lights, but then it gets too dark and nobody can see me, and that kind of sucks. Toronto Police, hello. Welcome. See, everybody, I told you, like, I'm on a list somewhere. I'm on a list somewhere. I'm telling you. And that's the Toronto Police hanging out. Hello. I promise you, I am no longer speeding. I learned my lesson. For those who don't know, I was talking about my last speeding ticket that I got about a year ago, when I was out in the middle of nowhere and I had no gas in my car and no cell phone signal. And so I thought it would be smart to like speed and then turn the car off and just let it drift. The police officer didn't agree with me. He didn't agree with me. It kind of sucked. It kind of sucked. Oh, man. It's a big list. It's a very big list. Oh, man. What can you do? No, but I know I'm on a list somewhere because I have to be, because what happened? Something happened and I want to say I called the police. It was like a drunk driver or something, and I called the police, and they didn't have my information. No, it was they turned out to be drunk, but it was somebody was driving recklessly and like had run some people off the road and blah blah blah, and I called the police and they arrested the person, and I guess the constable lost my information, and somehow they got a hold of my sister-in-law. And my sister-in-law called my brother to call me to tell me that the police was looking for me. I was terrified because they didn't say what it was. They just said they were looking for me. I thought I was in trouble. This was years ago. And so when I called, he's like, yeah, this is Constable so-and-so, and we're just following up on the accident, and you know, we just want to get your statement one more time. I just want to clarify. Okay. And then he's like, don't worry, you're probably not going to have to go to court and whatever. The girl ended up pleading guilty or whatever. But it was just like... I know I'm on a list somewhere, because how the hell did they find out who my sister-in-law was? Oh, man. But actually, the only reason I even know anything about policing at all is because I tried to be on the police for a while. I don't have the right personality to be a police officer for sure. I definitely don't have the right personality. At the time I thought I could, but not at all. Huh, maybe. This isn't on. Is it everywhere? Hello, testing 1 2 3. Huh, maybe. This isn't on. Is it everywhere? Hello. No, it doesn't seem to be looping on my end. Like, my stream seems to be clean, and when I listen to my tablet, which is on TikTok, it seems to be clean. Maybe the server is looping the sound. Sometimes that happens. That's really weird. But it seems to be okay on my side. I don't know. I'm guessing it's probably a server end issue. Like I'm sending the signal fine and then it's looping either the way it connected or they're just having an issue with their server, because it seems to be fine. Oh, you're having the looping issue? I don't know. Are you having the looping issue, or are you hearing my stream with a looping issue? Oh, it's when I talk more loudly. Let's see. Let me test. Hello, testing 1 2 3. Hello, testing 2 3. I don't know. On my side, it seems fine. At least my tablet is showing it fine. That's so weird. I don't know.
Now it's not there. Maybe the app is glitching or something. Like my Go XLR app. I've been having some issues with it. My cable's no good, and it randomly disconnects. So maybe that's what's causing it. It might just be on my end. I don't know. I have janky hardware. My hardware is falling apart, but I don't have the money to fix it. So I'm just kind of putting it together with duct tape. Oh well. I have got like 5 minutes left. I gotta get going in just a second. I'm gonna die! Oh god! Yeah, sometimes you're... Yeah, it might be my cable. It might be my cable. My cable is not good. It's really frustrating because every time I stream, I have to like fully reset my Go XLR right before I go live because it all freezes. But yeah, I tried to do the policing thing and it wasn't for me. I did a bunch of the testing. I got the certificates you need to be able to apply. I applied to a bunch of places. I went to some of like the seminars and stuff at the police station in Toronto, and I don't have the right personality. I really don't. And then one of my friends is a police sergeant, or was a police sergeant, he's retired now, here in Niagara, and he gave me a mock interview because he had done them. And then he looked up some of my information with my permission, and he found out one of my cousins was involved in some pretty dark stuff. And so he's like, "You're never going to get a job because of your cousin." Because we shared an address, so it was very clear. We shared an address in the past, so it was very clear that we were not just like distant cousins, like 10 times removed. It was like, no, they grew up together. So he's like, "You're probably never going to get the job just because of conflict of interest." And then as I learned about myself, I was like, I don't have the right personality for it anyway. I have a very hard time being assertive, and when I get assertive, I'm too assertive. And at the time especially, I struggled a lot with anger issues. I was never violent or anything, but I was always afraid that if I was a police officer and I had the skill and the like the training and access to things, it just wouldn't go down the right path if I ever lost my cool. And so I was like, no, it's just better I stay away from that than become a bad police officer. I'd rather just not be one. And so now I'm the annoying guy that when I see somebody drunk driving, I call the police. I'm that guy now. Which a couple of times it's worked out in my favor. In my favor as in like the person... Oh. I'm gonna die if I do this, aren't I? I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die! Oh, I pushed it! It was too late! Oh, I didn't look at my health till the last second. I was like, it's not moving. And then I saw it kind of like move and I was like, oh no! It was too late. I died. Yeah, there was a couple of times where like the person ended up arrested and everything, so it was totally worth it. The only time it was a pain, and obviously this isn't the police's fault. This is the judicial system's fault. Sorry, police. I try to be honest on here. I called the police on a drunk driver. They almost ran me off the road, and then they almost hit a couple of cars, and I was behind them, and my daughter was in the car. So I was really furious that they almost ran me off the road. So I called the police, and followed them. They were like slowing down to like next to nothing, and then speeding up really quickly. And they kind of caught on that I was following them. They ended up pulling into like a bank, and I saw them standing at the machine, and they tried to withdraw money, if I remember correctly. And then they got back in the car, and then they just sat in the parking lot. And then eventually we followed him once he left. And I remember there was another guy that got in front of me. Like he ended up pulling up next to the guy, and they were like exchanging words. And it was a guy and a girl in the car. And then they got behind me, and it was like all three of us going down the road. And then the police showed up with all their lights and everything. And then the guy that was following me got in front of the guy. There was a police officer next to the guy, and then there was a police officer behind me. So I moved out of the way. And then there was the open gap on his left, and it was just the two police officers and that guy, plus the person we were following. And so like I pulled up next to him to kind of box him in, and then we got him off the side of the road and whatever. And then I got a letter in the mail from the friggin' Crown Attorney saying that I had to go and be a witness, and that it turns out that the other car was actually an unmarked police officer who was a detective, actually. It was him and his partner. And they wanted me to come in. And the thing is that it was taking place in a city I don't live in. And it was going to be a 4-day event. And I had to be there from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. all 4 days because they didn't know if they were going to use me. I wasn't going to get paid for it. And at the time, my daughter was being homeschooled. So it's like I would have had to pay for babysitter. I would have to pay for gas. And I would have had to stop working because I worked during those hours at the time.
And then I called the lawyer and I was like, I can't afford this. Like, I can't do it. Can we do it like online? Because it was still when COVID was still kind of, you know, making everything online. And she's like, it depends on what the judge says, like if the judge is going to want it or not. And then she's like, but it might be like the day before we'll find out. And I was like, okay, well, if I've got no choice, then like, you're going to get arrested if you don't. And so I was like, well, that's stupid because I call in to be a good Samaritan and now I'm being punished because this guy doesn't want to admit that he was driving drunk, even though the police saw him. And so like I was really, really frustrated. And then eventually the lawyer called me and she's like, okay, I have to interview you and kind of go over your statement. And then she starts asking me questions to kind of see what I remember. I got every single one of them wrong. Like every single one. She's like, what did he look like? I was like, I remember he was an old guy wearing pajamas. She goes, no, he was like, you said he was in his mid 40s and he was wearing a blazer. I was like, I don't remember that at all. And she's like, what was he driving? I was like, I remember this vehicle. She's like, no, it was this vehicle. I was like, oh my God, I don't remember any of it. And she's like, yeah, let me get back to you. And then she called me back. She's like, I think we're just going to leave it with your statement. I don't think it's going to be necessary for you to come. I was like, okay, thank God. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, definitely not a good thing. I mean, not a bad thing that I'm not a cop. My memory sucks. Like I have ADHD, but my memory really sucks. I remember when I used to work at Zellers, and the security guy there, he was training to be a cop at the time, and he would talk to me about that stuff. He's like, always pay attention. He's like, you got to pay attention to every detail because the perp will get away if you just get one thing wrong. Like if a guy comes in with a red shirt and you happen to say like it's orange, he's gonna get away with it because the lawyer will grab onto that. And I always like keep that in mind, and I can't remember a thing. I'm really good with faces, and that's about it. But this guy, I was keeping my distance. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know if he was going to, pull out a knife or something. So I kept my distance. I wasn't close enough to see his face. But all the other information I got wrong. All of it was wrong. All of it. Oh, man. Yeah, it really sucks having ADHD, lapses of memory. But yeah, the lawyer had said that they weren't going to pay me. And even when I brought it up, because I was like, I can't afford this stuff. She's like, we might be able to get a little bit of money. And then I was like, the thing is, like, if I'm going to be here for 8 hours, I need a babysitter for 8 hours. And then it's like $25 in gas plus the parking. I'm like, so it's not like, $20 a day is going to get me by. Like I'm going to be losing a lot of money doing this. But thankfully my memory sucked. So she couldn't use me. I don't know whatever happened to that guy, but like it was just so frustrating for me that I tried to do the right thing. And then this guy who almost ran me and my family off the road, almost hit a couple of trucks, and like the police saw what he was doing once they caught up. And he still was bold-faced saying, not guilty. And it's just like, how? Just take your punishment, dude. You drove like an idiot. Just take your punishment. Just like, so frustrating. But that was my experience. But I'll still call if I see something is wrong, just because there's too many idiots out there, and there's not enough. There's too much road and not enough officers to cover that much road, and so it's very easy for people to slip by. And my fear is that somebody else is going to get hurt because I didn't say something, if that makes sense. I'm not saying like it's like not enough cops and it's their fault. It's just too much. It would just be way too many people that you would need. But if I don't say something and he almost hit me, who's to say that he wouldn't have turned off the highway and then killed somebody 10 minutes later? I had a couple of friends die that way when I was a kid. And it's just not something I want to be a part of. Not something I would ever want to let happen. You know what I mean? All right, Toronto Police, thank you so much for popping in. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for spending some time chatting with me. That's cool. Toronto Police saw me. Yeah, see, and I can remember events. I can remember what happened with the guy. I don't remember what he looked like. I don't remember the vehicle he was driving. And even some of the stuff, like I have forgotten the bank thing until the lawyer told me. I had completely forgotten that until she told me. And so it's like there are things that I remember and things that I don't remember. There are a lot of events that I can remember, but there are some things that I completely don't remember. My memory is really weird. Mind you, I talked to my doctor about it because I was worried it would have been the ADHD meds. But apparently there's a lot of stuff going on in my private life right now. And so I'm under like an immense amount of stress. And he thinks that that's what's causing my memory to really suck right now. Because, I mean, I was an actor. My memory used to be really, really good. And now it really sucks. But it's probably that. It's probably the fact that, I have so much going on. Oh, well. Yeah, Bitsy, the Toronto Police TikTok was just hanging out. on TikTok. They were just chatting with me. Oh man. And that's exactly it, Dakota. Like I don't really care about like being silly or whatever. But I've seen enough horrible things happen. I've been around long enough to see horrible things happen. And I don't care how much fun you're having if it's going to hurt somebody. That's not right. I think the big moment to me, this is the last thing I got to say because I got to go pick up my daughter. The big moment for me was when I was in El Salvador. This was about, oh God, now it's probably been about 10 years. I was in El Salvador. We were driving to go meet a bass player because we had gone and my dad was going to play the bass, but he had an injury. So he wanted to hire a professional bass player to kind of take over for him. And so we were going to go meet this guy who was going to play the bass for us. And we're driving down the highway, and over there, the highways don't have lighting. They're very, very like dark, and there's jungle next door. So it's like, it's hard to see. And then there was a bunch of slow traffic. And as we're driving, the traffic just suddenly slowed down. And then there was a shoe in the middle of the road. And then just a little bit further up, there was a backpack in the middle of the road. And I'm looking and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And as I look forward, this little compact car, all of a sudden the back wheels just lift up and he's dragging a guy behind him. And then the guy rolls out. And then everybody just left and just ignored the guy. So my dad and I chased the car down. And we called the police and everything. He had his little girl in the car. She looked like she was maybe 6. And he ran over this guy. Now, he tried to deny it. First, he said that he didn't hit anything. Then when we pointed out that you could see the body from where we pulled him over because he went to the gas station, he then said he thought it was a dog. And then he said that the guy was already dead when he ran over him. But it's like, if you didn't see him and you ran him over, you would have felt it. When you felt it and you thought it was a dog, why did you run? And if it was a person and he was already dead, why did you run him over? Why didn't you go around him? Right? Because traffic was going slow. It's not like we were all speeding and it was just there. He was going slow. And so the police showed up and everything. But it was just at that moment, I was like, no, that was a real person. That was somebody's brother or dad or son. And you were so heartless. And so from that point forward, I was like, I can't just stand by if somebody is potentially going to hurt somebody. Then I'm going to call because I can't do anything about it. But at least somebody who can do something at least will be aware of what's happening. It was disheartening. It was so disheartening. Future, I'm actually leaving. I have to go pick up my daughter. I was actually supposed to be there 2 minutes ago, but she'll be fine. Anyways, I got to get out of here. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. I will be live again. Tomorrow's Wednesday, right? So I'll be live again on Thursday. We're going to be playing some more the Dead Space. And that's pretty much it. I don't think I'm going to be live tomorrow because I have a really late night tonight. So I'll be live Thursday. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you spending some time with me and letting me chat. Sorry we didn't play very much. Mondays tend to be kind of a wash for me. I tend to talk a lot. But thank you all for spending some time with me. Have yourselves a really good day, and I'll see you soon.